Hello, my little cucumbers, and welcome back to the Coop'd Up podcast. I am so happy and excited to have you guys back. I'm happy to be back in the chair this week. I am drinking a margarita because I need one. It's been a long week, but we are grinding and we are we're trying to do our thing. We're trying to do our thing. So I have been in the midst of between like working and trying to find a balance of like still going out and still doing things to find things to tell you guys. Oh, I forgot. We have to start with what are you wearing? So I am wearing I will tell you guys. I'm wearing this green hat. I forget the name of it. Maybe wait, let's see. Oh, I know. It is, I think it's a Bleacher Street hat. I got this in New York City. My shirt is an Ami Paris shirt. I think I'm saying that right, but an Ami Paris shirt that I got thrifting, and I'm wearing just like Nike joggers and Converse. I'm not standing up to show you guys today, but you have an idea. And that is what I'm wearing. If you guys follow me on TikTok, you probably have noticed that I started doing a what the fuck are you wearing on TikTok. And I feel like that's gonna be my little thing there. Here on YouTube, we're gonna be like a, what are you wearing? But TikTok, it's a what the fuck are you wearing? And it's a whole completely different vibe. And I think that one's a little cute. So if you want to check that one out, make sure you go to my TikTok at Jasha did, and you can see the what the fuck are you wearing is on there. But I wanted to come out. I'm already out. I wanted to come on here and just give you guys like a little update and just, you know, give you guys the spiel on what I've been doing. And so I think it was last Tuesday. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted a reel of going out to a jazz night on a Tuesday, which was super duper random. Okay. One of my old neighbors in the building that I used to live in North Hollywood, she's a singer. And so she was hosting an event and she was singing and she invited me out. And I said, if I can bring some friends, I will come. And she's like, sure, put them on the list. And so we went out, we went to Bar Liz, we watched her sing, we watched her perform, we had some drinks, we had a good time. Like, I enjoyed myself. But the thing is, I'm like trying to itch my stomach at the same time. And this is kind of what the topic of, I guess, today's podcast is going to be about. Trying to differentiate between whether or not somebody is straight or if someone is gay. Because I'm going to tell you, okay? So when we were out, I need to take a sip of this first because I can't let this margarita go to waste. I can't just sit here with the margarita in my hand and not drink it. So give me a sec. Yum. So when I was out with my friends at the jazz night, okay? When we were at my friend was hosting, we were in her section. She had all these friends, we're meeting everybody, what have you. Everybody knows I love me a tall man. And I especially love me a tall white man. So this guy was introducing himself to me. We were talking for a little bit. I completely thought he was straight, okay? Straight, didn't think anything of it. He asked me what my two friends' names were, who were both girls, and I told him their names, and I was like, I was like, well, why do you ask? And he was like, oh, like, I just get nervous before meeting people. I want to know their names so I don't mess it up. And I was like, hey, that's strange. Never heard that, but whatever. He starts talking to my friends, and he asks them what their names are, and then they tell him, and they talk to him for like maybe like 2 seconds, and then I went over to talk to them, and the guy was like kind of like lingering, and they were like, oh, I think he's like he's trying to like talk to you still. And I was like, I don't think so. I think he just doesn't know who to talk to since he's not really talking to anybody anymore. And he was like kind of like standing close to me, And they were like, no, like, I think that he's like interested in you. And he like, I don't even remember if he started trying to have like another conversation with me or not. I probably just like didn't pay him any mind. But I told them, I was like, I completely think that man is straight. And if he's not, like, I'm not playing guessing games. Like, if somebody wants to be very upfront and honest about their intentions, then they just need to like do that, or like come with an appropriate approach. Like, I'm 28, like, I'm not trying to play a guessing game in the club nonetheless about whether or not this man is trying to talk to me or not. No, 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 no. And I find it funny because when I was on TikTok, right, everybody is currently roasting this one black gay kid. Okay, so he dresses super super feminine. He has long black hair, extensions, long black extensions, dresses super feminine. And he made a TikTok about how he was in this club dancing with this man, talking, making out, whatever. The guy asked him for his number. Then they planned a date, and when the guy came to pick him up, he got in the car, and then he asked him if he was a man or a girl, and the TikToker said he was a man, and then the guy dropped him back off. And he made a TikTok about it and was saying how the guy is homophobic or whatever. And everyone's like, no, girl, he thought you were a girl. Like, what do you mean? He's not homophobic. He thought you were a girl, and you pretty much, like, tricked him. And the kid was like, no, 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 no. Like, you can tell that I'm a guy. And then he made a TikTok, like a separate TikTok, him dressed and in like the daylight. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. So you can kind of tell that this guy is a guy and not a girl. He's just like a super feminine, flamboyant guy. And everyone's like, oh yeah, no, everyone's like changing the narrative. And they're like, yeah, no, like he knew. He just was like scared to go out with you in public. And I just think that is funny in itself because that happens all the time, which is why I said I wasn't going to sit there and play a guessing game. Because, like, as somebody who is super comfortable in their sexuality, right? When you go out into public spaces are typically going to be heterosexual. You have to go to designated areas, locations, bars, restaurants, whatever. If you're looking to be in a predominantly whatever area that you're looking for. Typically, general public, it's heterosexual. So when you go out, you have to play these guessing games when you're trying to look for someone to approach or talk to. I feel like as someone who might be like me or this other kid who's even way more flamboyant, I put myself out there in a sense where you can tell that no, I'm a homo because I'm now comfortable in my sexuality and in my skin to be like, I can dress any other type of way and be who I want. Like, I dress like this, and some may consider this to be like a very hetero look, right? And I can go out and walk in public, and like maybe if I change the way I walk a little bit, I could probably pass. Not if I talk like that, but I could probably pass. But I'm not trying to be walking around straight passing all the time, which is why, you find a lot of these gays when they're in relationships, you have one that is more straight passing and one who is more of the female, right? And so it's just funny. It's all just so funny to me because, like I said, when I'm going out, I dress myself in a way where it's easier for men to approach me. But if you're going to approach me, you need to be able to be like direct, like come direct at it. I remember I was at a party a couple months ago, right? This is when I first started working at one of my jobs. And I was out with coworkers. Well, I wasn't out. One of them was having a party. And I was at his party, and there was this guy who was at the party. And I found him very attractive, right? And we were just having conversation. He was super witty. And I very much like a witty man. And so he was super witty and we were getting along. And I was just asking him, what's your preference? Like this, that, and the third. And he was telling me that he likes girls. But then he like complimented me and told me that I was like, he's like, yeah, but you're very handsome. And I was like, well, that's interesting because like you just said you like girls. So then whatever, continue the conversation with that one. Kept going, circled back. So then I was like, okay, so like what kind of girls do you like? And just like trying to like prod to see, just like, poke a little bit, finding out that he has preference to trans girls, which is, that's not a problem. But then I was like, well, that kind of explains a little bit as to why you keep saying that I'm handsome. And I'm not saying that in a sense of I'm comparing myself to a trans girl, but I don't know the types of trans girls that he has a preference to. So whether or not they're passing or non-passing, that's on him. But I was like, I can tell that you're complimenting me and like looking at me and stuff like that. And yeah, we ended up making out. We ended up making out like later on in the night, in the bathroom because like everybody was like doing drugs. So we were just like, oh, we'll like sneak over here really quickly. And we just like made out in the bathroom for a second and then like left. But like, we didn't leave together. We just left the bathroom. But yeah, so it's like, I was like, oh, like you're giving me too many compliments to be just like a straight man. But then, I think also straight men love a gay just for the compliments. I love to give a straight man a compliment, especially if he looks good. I give my straight friends compliments all the time, especially if they're like looking really, really good. I'm like, you look good, Bubba. Like, for sure. But it's hard out here. It's hard in these trenches. And I don't understand why it has to be so hard. Oh, you guys, I did see another speed dating. One of my friends sent it to me on TikTok. And I don't know if I'm going to go to that one because it's in Venice. And I don't know if I want to go speed dating with the type of men in Venice. And if you know about men in Venice, then you know about men in Venice. And if you don't, look it up. But like, I don't think I'm going to want to date a man from Venice Beach or go out to the gay bar there. So I think I'm skipping that speed dating and I'm just going to have to go back to trying to see if there are men out there in public who are willing to just approach me correctly. I said it last episode. I'm going to say it this episode. Halloween is coming up. And next week will be the start of my Halloween shenanigans. And I guess it would be this week. Like this weekend. Yes, this weekend will be the start of my Halloween shenanigans. And I'm so super duper excited. I have one costume. It's gonna be my duo. It's gonna be a duo costume. Oh, I think the guy that I made out with will be at this party. So fingers crossed. If he's there, I would love to have another conversation with him and just pick his brain some more and see where he's been at and his journey of dating and experiencing the world since our makeout session. If you really, really, truly love me, you will. I was like, that was a little dramatic, but you guys should like, subscribe, comment, follow, share, tell your friends, tell your family members, tell whoever the fuck you want to tell. Make sure you come back next week, and I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.